Reserve time.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for all that. We have to get into this draft, guys. What's up? Welcome to the International European Qualifiers. We have Penta Sports, not esports, just pointing that out. Going up against mouz sports, I guess also technically not not esports. It's going to be part of the European Qualifier. Got a grind fest of best of ones for today and tomorrow. For today, going to be covering 5 in a row. Penta just demolishing Alliance, just getting done with that game. That's why we were a little bit late. And mouz, they are not doing too hot, which breaks my heart because I love me some mouz sports. But that being said, I'm Mike Loris, going to be bringing you the official Volvo coverage of TI7 qualifiers. Thank you guys for tuning in on Beyond the Summit 3. I know it's a little bit hard to find, perhaps. Thank you all tuning in Dota TV. Shoutouts to you guys in Dota TV land. Hopefully you guys are hearing me, and if you're not, somebody tell me, because I have no way of finding out. But yeah, Penta just got done destroying Alliance with a Drow Ranger draft, and not your ordinary Drow Ranger draft where they, you know, gonna pick up some range heroes, some melee heroes, and then boom, Drow Ranger at the end. Wow, surprise. No, they just picked Drow Ranger first phase, and the Alliance saw it coming and they couldn't deal with it. That's some confidence right there. Queen of Pain opening is, you know, still keeping that door open. You never know. But yeah, definitely a very solid mid lane here. It seems like Penta not really scared about getting counterpicked. I mean, when you're going to be picking up a Drow Ranger and building an entire draft around her, and you pick her up first, like, that is absolutely no fear. You are not scared at all about your draft getting countered. And that's like one of the easiest drafts to counter when you see it first phase. You very rarely see them that work out if they do pick it up first phase. Quick note on audio and video, guys. If you've been following the Mike Loris new hard drive saga, you know that this is a clean install, so the settings that I have been using are not exactly working. I mean, not exactly the same. So yeah, the video audio might be slightly off. If it's really bad, please tell me. But hopefully it should be okay. But yeah, if it's fine, it's fine. Don't say anything. Nature's Prophet and Rubik, the pickups from mouz sports. Rubik first phase, I think, is, you know, it's whatever. It's a Rubik. It's a solid enough support. Nature's Prophet early on is definitely pretty interesting. We've been seeing mouz sports play this hero a lot as of late. It does seem like for Skylark, they've been having a little bit of difficulty finding a hero that really works with him and the rest of the other heroes that they decide to pick up. I think that's probably, I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen all the mouz sports games, but I do know that they've been really struggling as of late in this patch and the, I guess the last couple of patches, ever since, what was it, Boston? They've been having some rough times. We'll see if this Nature's Prophet is going to work out. First pick is definitely a hero that, again, you can kind of counter. Queen of Pain is okay at dealing with the Nature's Prophet. As far as mid lane heroes are concerned, you can probably do better, i.e. Storm Spirit. We see mouz sports, though, with their bans, really trying to protect this Nature's Prophet as much as possible. Clockwork, with the scouting and the hookshot, of course, and Puck, I guess, for the exact same reasons, with the Puck's orb and just general mobility. We'll try to protect the Nature's Prophet and his mobility in the mid-late stage of the game as much as possible. And then, of course, you have the advantage of trying to gank around in the early phase, not on a Queen of Pain. That's probably not going to work. Snagger Courier, though, and you can turn a mediocre lane matchup into a great one if they want to put like a, you know, an Ember Spirit type hero, a hero that will struggle a little bit versus Quap in that mid lane. We can see Penta are concerned with that mid lane as well. DK as well as the Lina. I think those two have in common is that, well, they have dragon spells, but more importantly, they hit towers really well. Shadow Fiend, probably the other hero that oh god, I'm dying. That hits towers really well, but the kind of trade-off of that is that the laning experience of a Shadow Fiend is not quite as clean versus a Quap, Witch Doctor, and potential for third hero for position that's going to be roaming in to that mid lane as well. Shadow Fiend is very, very killable in that regard. So they do want to protect this Quap as much as possible, lock down this advantageous mid lane. And, I mean, it is becoming more and more like that nowadays in Dota. And speaking of locking down mid lanes, we have ourselves a doozy right here. Both of them, really. Riki and Spirit Breaker going to be picked up. So the supporting cast is done. We're going to check those off Mouse Sports, MNT, definitely the Ricky player, right? The one who plays Ricky.
Remaining.
So he's very comfortable with the hero. The concern is that you'll need some power in those lanes if you're actually going to get kills. Rubik is kind of a soft hero, as is Nature's Prophet. Like, if you're actually going to be playing aggressively with a Ricky, then you kind of want to have a Quap or a Lina or someone who can really just pound it in when you actually go for those ganks. Rubik and Nature's Prophet aren't really those type of heroes. They will have that smoke screen, which is going to be absolutely incredible versus the Queen of Pain in the later stages of the game. I mean, silence in general is amazing. Smoke screen is definitely underrated. I mean, it's not a stun, but it is a huge zoning tool, and if they're sitting in it with the mischance and the silence, yeah, things get pretty bad pretty quickly. But I want to see where this damage is going to come from for Mouse Sports. I mean, Ricky is a hero that really relies on his allies in that regard, unlike the Spirit Breaker, who does a little bit more damage typically than the Ricky, and is able to kind of more confidently chase down heroes just being as tanky as he is. He doesn't really need all that much extra damage. He will have a Queen of Pain in some situations to help him out in that regard as well. So Penta definitely needed a little bit less so than the Mouse Sports side. OD, the pickup here for Mouse. Mostly just looking at that mid lane matchup, I would assume. I mean, if your plan really is to just be killing off towers, OD doesn't really do it all that well. He doesn't really have any way of increasing his right-click damage versus towers through normal builds. Like, I guess if you steal a lot of intelligence from a one-team fight, then you'll hit pretty hard, but that's not really going to happen all that often. So they're just looking at the matchups, and at this point, you look at Mouse Sports draft, and you're like, okay, fine. Not sure why the Nature's Prophet is there, though. It does seem like that kind of outlier at this point. They could have had a pretty ordinary-looking draft if you just, well, I guess, grab that Darkseer first phase. Darkseer Rubik, I'd be completely on board with that. Nature's Prophet, I'm still not convinced. I'll need a little bit more, and hopefully Mouse Sports will give me that reason. But, I mean, while I'm kind of questioning the offlane of Mouse Sports, you look at Penta, and they have bread and butter. This is a staple right here. Darkseer is a staple, full stop. Wow, Drow Ranger ban. That's some respect right there. Mouse Sports were definitely watching Penta's last game. But Darkseer, Spirit Breaker, that is when shit is going to hit the fan. If you're a Rubik, if you're an Nature's Prophet, good freaking luck, man. It's a nightmare. Ion Shells with charges, and you're a super soft hero. You have one telekinesis or a sprout to save yourself. That's not going to happen. Penta will now get a building hitter, a little bit extra damage with the Troll Warlord, and I am liking their draft. I'm not sure about that Drow ban. I mean, it would have been okay, I suppose, but Troll Warlord is a lot more upfront about it, and is a hero that is, I guess, a little bit more difficult to counterpick in the last phase. And OD is already a pretty good hero to have. Ricky, with that, again, smoke screen, is an incredible hero to have up against that Troll Warlord. Troll Warlord, I think, is still the dumbest hero in the game. I haven't checked recently because that's not, like, things you check. It's like, I wonder who has the lowest int growth in this patch. It has been Troll Warlord for a long time. I'm assuming it's still the Troll Warlord, so OD and his ultimate is, in theory, a really good answer at just blasting him down in one shot. But for Mouse Sports, last pick is going to be Legion Commander, and they're going to shift things up a bit. Okay. Well, not questioning their offlane anymore. Legion Commander is, in my opinion, one of the best offlane heroes, like top 3 easily in this patch right now. Nature's Prophet will be given to Madara, the usual carry player, the hard hitter of the Mouse Sports side.
10 seconds.
Now, Skylark playing Legion Commander, that's a very comfortable hero for him. He's played it forever, and it's perfectly fine. They have, I think, in most cases, enough damage to get those dual wins, or at least with the Ricky and Rubik, enough defensive power to make sure that those duels don't turn into dual losses, which is the absolute worst case scenario. I want to see what type of gameplay style this Nature's Prophet is going to go for. Mouse Sports late game is pretty heavy as far as just the heroes that they have that can right-click and just do a lot of consistent DPS. But if you kind of move beyond that and look at how much team fight they actually have... Is this... Okay. They're not loading in! Oh god, disaster! Hopefully the audio is still fine on this one as well. Again, if there are any audio or video issues, please let me know so I can try to fix them on the fly. But yeah, I wonder if they're going to try to go for that late game, or if they're going to try to really apply the pressure early on I don't really think they have the tools to do the latter. As powerful as Nature's Prophet is at pushing towers, at applying that kind of semi-global / global pressure, the OD and Legion Commander just are so bad at hitting towers that even if you do get, 5-10 kill advantage, then what? You just can't do anything with it because you can't kill their towers, or if you do, it's going to take a hell of a long time. If this was a Shadow Fiend, again, like a DK, then that would be a viable gameplay style. So it looks like mouz will just be looking to have a kind of a grind fest of a game. And in that regard, they are going up against some pretty powerhouse heroes. Penta do have supports that skip pretty darn well into the later stages in the Spirit Breaker and the Witch Doctor, who has a pipe and a hat and shades. Oh my god. This guy is just swagged out, like, so hard. I don't really know exactly what that hat is, but from the looks of it, it looks like a regular baseball cap turned backwards, which to me is just, the most baller thing you could possibly do as a Witch Doctor or as any cool kid ever. In the meantime, Ricky has a helmet. Boring. What, do you take that out of Skyrim, Ricky? Come on, man. You gotta blaze it like the Witch Doctor. Obviously, that's the way to go. mouz Sports looking for a little bit of a Bounty Rune invasion here. MNT, though, will take a charge. Cask Stun is there. Will bounce through, and the Ricky needs to go invis. He's going to eat some extra regen and get the Tango, and with the body blocks from Spartan, should be able to make it out alive. However, Madara now taking a lot of damage. There is not much damage coming out of these heroes from mouz. With this invade, it may have been a little bit foolish. Madara is going to get a little bit distance away. They've been focusing on the Troll Warlord the entire time. He is rather tanky, surprisingly tanky, and of course you can't focus the Spirit Breaker. That's just never going to work. MNT going to cancel a salve, try to get some value here, but mouz Sports and their invasion did not work. The creeps have spawned, by the way, and they're still fighting. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, they are going to back off, and everyone is going to go back into their lanes, but we can see this is the downside of this stage of mouz Sports. The level 1, you're trying to tango up against Troll Warlord, a Spirit Breaker who is an absolute monster at level 1. That was rather foolhardy. Although they did get the Bounty Rune. I didn't actually see that. It looks like Spartan was able to sneak that one in the midst of the fighting. Yeah, they get the Bounty Rune, but it costs them so much regen. I'm not actually sure if that's worth it. I guess you take it away from the opponent, so it's technically worth it. The Cask now, once again, going to bounce through. MNT is charged up, and he is still in sentry range. That's going to be First Blood, drawn by Penta. Just barely, though. And mouz Sports are going to be kicking themselves for that one. MNT maybe has to calm down just a little bit. Man, like half a second or something like that. If it goes the other way, Spartan gets jabs, and then Skitter gets MNT, then such a different game. But as of right now, they're still trying to play super aggressively up against the Spirit Breaker, and the Cask bounces. Skitter is not that healthy, though. He's going to get lifted up. Ricky already broke his invis, and he's going to show himself off. Spartan in the trees. Only has one Tango to juke from, and that's not going to do it. And mouz are trying to push with a skeleton crew. I'm not really sure what the idea is of this. And we're going to keep our eyes on this most of the time. So let's very quickly move over to the other lanes. Skylark, being Legion Commander, is going to have a perfectly adequate time going up against the Darkseer, mostly because of this baby right here. Moment of Courage is the sustain source. It's what kind of counteracts that Ion Shell. He should be fine. And over towards the mid lane should be a rather even lane. Blazemon's Quap going up against Thug's OD. And again, no one should really be dying here unless they make a big mistake or until level 6s are up. They're going to find Skitter with a Sprout, but that doesn't do anything. He even had Tangos. I think something happened. Maybe he tangoed and then the treants were summoned. But again, the focus should be on this bottom lane. Sentries will be dropped in favor of mouz, try to make MNT's initiation a little bit cleaner. And they are kind of banking on the creep wave and the treants and poor positioning from jabs to get these kills. Now, MNT was like a pretty big hit here. With the Sprout going up, jabs will fall. MNT, unless a random shockwave comes out from this little satyr, should be fine. He will. That move was just not a good move. Like, why would you go over here? I don't know. But, yeah, if they can still keep this troll from farming, while at the same time limiting their deaths, then they should be fine. But this is where the problem arises. Sprout is going to do a whole lot of nothing. Nice 70 mana, bro. You just wasted it. Once the Spirit Breaker charges in, then, I mean, the way it usually happens is that you charge in a Spirit Breaker, the enemy guy, say Nature's Prophet, sees you're charging, and then decides to move back, right? And you're still going to land that charge because you're your Spirit Breaker, obviously. But what happens then is that since the Nature's Prophet did move back, because he really wants to get better spacing. That means he's further away from his creep wave, which is down here, which means that the cask is going to be able to bounce between the Nature's Prophet and whoever else is around. And then at that point, Nature's Prophet, Rubik, Ricky, these are not tanky heroes. They really just don't have any sort of counterplay other than just to hope that there's not enough damage on the enemy side. And to their credit, I suppose, the nuking power of this bottom lane for Penta is not that strong. It's mostly just a kind of a sustained physical damage output lane. But they are so far finding their openings. Now, it is, of course, keeping the Spirit Breaker tied down, so there's something to be said from that. The Spirit Breaker is, you know, kind of hanging around this bottom lane, therefore not ganking mid, not helping out top. So that broken combo I mentioned before of the Darkseer, by the way, played by Boogie, it's a name that you guys probably should recognize. He was in the Finn stack, right? For SC, for FC, 4 Finns and a something. No, something and a C captain. Right? Was that where Boogie was last? 4 ASC, that's the team. I think that was his last team. You should recognize that name. He's been around forever. No Ion Shell shenanigans up on this top lane. At least with the Spirit Breaker. I mean, as powerful as Moment of Courage is, it will not be able to out-heal a Spirit Breaker and Darkseer whacking you both with Ion Shell. It's not going to happen. This top lane, though, is, yeah, slightly in favor of Skylark. Just having a better attack animation and having slightly higher base damage will do that for you. But the lead that they are getting top lane mouz is not super substantial. They do have to worry about going too aggressive on this bottom lane. That's what I'm really worried about. Madara's feeling pretty comfortable with these phase boots, and phase boots are absolutely ridiculous. Skylark and Boogie fist fighting up towards top lane. Jukes? Oh, he's in a corner? No, that's not a corner. He has Tango, so there are no corners for him. Skylark also doesn't have duel. Oh, the nuke, not quite enough. But Skylark is going to chase him all the way out of lane. There is a dead... No, it's actually going to be a live shrine soon, so... Perfect timing to make that play if you're Boogie. No one going to be dying on the other lanes. Again, if they do, it'll be really surprising. It is going to be mouz Sports coming out with a very, very slight CS lead for right now. Again, it's nothing really to write home about. They've been trying to keep this Troll Warlord down with this Treant extra attack damage in the lane. Very easy to get these denies. We can see 11 from the Nature's Prophet, and up against 3 heroes, every single deny hurts like hell. MNT, body blocking. He's only level 2 as the Ricky, and he's gonna get randomly dusted. Charge coming in, he'll level up Lane Strike and immediately get out, plus they interrupt the charge. Sprout will protect the catapult, and they will burn the dust. You know, it does cost them a little bit of mana, but you know he had full mana anyway. Madara's mana costs are very low as well, so the mana cost is kind of negligible. Whereas on the other end, you use a dust, and you're going up against Ricky. You would rather have more dust than less dust. Let's just put it at that. You know, usually in offensive tri-lanes, the conventional thinking is you either have to kill the opponents a lot, or you have to get a lot of farm, or keep the enemy from getting a lot of farm. And in this case, it doesn't really seem like any of that is happening. Like, they're getting their own farm, the enemies are getting their own farm, everyone's getting farm, and no one's really getting a lot of kills. So it just seems like, even though this is a quote-unquote offensive tri-lane, they're just kind of farming in this lane. It's just a regular third lane. It's a little bit weird. It is definitely a weird game state to be in, but this is perfectly fine for mouz, because I don't really think if they were looking to play a super offensive tri-lane, they would be able to make anything happen. We do have a duel going up towards top. Boogie, who has the Ion Shell, though we will not expect Spartan to arrive. Skylark, though, is being charged. 4 stick charges. And we also had that TP, I think it was canceled by Madara. Skylark is going to have a wand now, so it's a little more powerful. DNZ is going to go straight in, needs a bash if he's going to get the kill, not even going to roll for it. And in the meantime, bottom lane, everyone abandoned Skitter here. It's like they're not able to make a play. Once again, we have aggression, and once again, we have no results. Although Madara, is there anyone who can even touch Uchiha Madara? Turns out, yes, with the Whirling Axes. He's stuck in a corner now, although they will fall back. He'll straight TP out of there as the reinforcements are coming in at Skylark and Thug. Both of the big hits onto jabs, and they also have a troll in a bubble. No mana, although he will get another Whirling Axes out. He's going to need the luckiest miss rolls of his life. He'll get taunted up by the duel. The damage isn't going to be there for a win, but it still will be there for a kill. Skylark is going to be pretty bummed about that, but you know what? Beggars cannot be choosers. It's all good. Yeah, why so low FPS? I had to turn down the FPS because I was streaming 60 FPS fine on my channel when I was testing, and then I turned over to BTS and then it all started breaking. So I figured you guys want to see regular quality low FPS as opposed to terrible quality high FPS. But it is 4-2 now in favor of the mouse sports side. And Skylark, what is his blink dagger timing looking like? It's the phase boots already. He just got that courier delivery of all these base items, raindrop, magic wand upgrade, and he is going to be you know, pretty much on schedule. Not a super incredible timing, but it's perfectly adequate. And, oh, jump in, Blazemon! Go, got destroyed, Ricky. He's only level 3 versus a level 8 Quap. That's just Sonic Wave Scream. I think Ricky was full HP. So yeah, he has 600 HP. RIP. Oh my god, that did a lot of damage. Maybe he wasn't full HP. It's not quite enough. But that was also Arcane Rune, so even if Quap doesn't get that kill, who cares? It's fine. You'll have another Sonic Wave soon anyway. Plus Sonic Wave just naturally isn't a super high cooldown. Scan, not a TP. The TP's coming in behind the tower. Mouse Sports are looking to leverage this Nature's Prophet as much as they can. And this is something that we normally don't see from OD drafts, from drafts with Legion Commander. Balling up and taking towers this early is very, very rarely seen, especially when you're going for like hand of Midas and you don't have the Midas yet. Fighting is the last thing you want to do as Thug. Like, you just want to be sitting in a lane, AFK farming, PvE all day. They'll probably still be able to get this tower though, just because no one's coming down here to defend it. Skylark will leave. He is killable, I think. Never mind, Rubik's coming in as well. Although a third hero from Penta is also coming in. Maybe they can kill off Skylark, especially if Skylark goes and gets surrounded like this. He's spotted. Here comes the charge. Rubik cannot lift up DNZ in time. Still saving that telekinesis. He's going to lift up the Witch Doctor to prevent the cast from being thrown. And it will keep everyone safe. Over towards bottom lane in the meantime. Oh, the little Treant guys got the tower. Good work, you. You'll be able to retreat and survive as a Treant. Now, there are not many Treants that are able to do that. They usually just die. But this one is going to have glorious retirement. And his buddy died, so, I mean, I guess he's traumatized somewhat. One tower down. And this build for the Nature's Prophet is very aggressive. I mean, drums, phase boots. This is a build that screams, I'm going to be teleporting around and killing you. And of course, the Orchid going to be doing something very similar once he gets that one up. So Mouse Sports are kind of gearing up for a very offensive mid-game. Which, again, I'm not really sure is going to work out the best for them, unless OD is going to be able to get perfect positioning. I don't think Spirit Breaker is very smart either. Yeah, 1.8. Troll's 1, I think? 1 per level. Looks like he is the dumbest hero in Dota still. So the Sanity's Eclipse is going to be very backbreaking. But OD just isn't at a point in the game where he's comfortable just 5-manning. It's just not there yet. He still needs his levels. He still needs to build up that level 2, level 3 ult, and of course get that orb up. Midas will of course facilitate that, but Midas is not up yet, so that's kind of irrelevant now, isn't it? Blazemon does have the Veil. Veil on the team is kind of mediocre. Even on Quap, it's like, I'm not really sure if I'm a huge fan of it, mostly because this is pure, so it's like Scream, Shadow Strike. It's alright, I suppose, if you are going to stick with this kind of build up towards level 25 kind of strat that we see Quaps go for, where they get Maelstroms and all this other magic damage, Shiva's Guard, and then you get the spell lifesteal, so it kind of does build up well in the later stages. But, you know, I would be more okay if instead of like a Troll Warlord, it was someone with a nuke. Those heroes are not currently coming to mind. You know, any hero with a nuke. Or if the Witch Doctor had a non-physical damage ultimate, if he was like a Skywrath Mage or, you know, a CM or something like that. It's not really the best team item, but it's a perfectly fine build-up item for the later stages. Hand of Midas now on Thug. Ricky, level 5. There are no huge timings for Ricky necessarily. I mean, level 6 is great and everything for tricks. But really every level is precious for Ricky because all of his base skills are incredible. Meantime, Jabs is... I mean, he's swagged out, but he's poor. Maybe he should have spent less of his gold on the pipe and the hat and the shades, and more of his gold on, you know, stuff that will help him farm, because he's not going to get any gold. I mean, the Rubik hasn't really been doing a lot either farm-wise, but is now finding time in the mid lane to get some CS. More importantly, though, is finding time to get level 6. And the Witch Doctor is going to be falling behind. That's not really a terribly huge deal, but it is very easy to kill off a Witch Doctor if you're a mouse sports, because, you know, there's this hero on the field, Legion Commander. Blink duel on the Witch Doctor. There might be a mechanism later on to try to help out against that from the Darkseer. Maybe a charge, but odds are you're dying. MNT is being charged. DNZ is going in. MNT will go tricks, dodge all the damage. DNZ taking a lot of damage from the tower. Boogie setting up for the Iron Shells. They'll dust up MNT. In the smoke screen, he'll try to hide, but the Scream will find him. That will be that. Bottom lane in the meantime, though, trying to pressure this bottom. TP canceled, and now Skitter. Is he going to be body blocked at all? No, he'll be just fine. He's a pretty big hit for the overwhelming odds. Skarlock and Madara trying to do this without much backup. Tower dies on the top lane in the meantime. Now the charge is coming in. They have overplayed their hand, and the cast will at least won't bounce for them. They need more heroes, though. They'll trap DNZ in the Sprout. More heroes coming in from the north. I don't know if they're going to get a good enough angle, though. They're not. DNZ's on the downhill slope. But still, they're going to grind out for this tower. Blink Dagger coming in on the courier for the Legion Commander. And they are probably guaranteed this tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Spellsteal is up on Rubik. There's a Death Ward on the Witch Doctor. Mechanism timing is up. There's a lot of quick buy and courier stuff for the Darkseer before. But hey, they are ready to fight. Jabs is not ready to fight, though. Are they going to, like, try to... No. I thought they were maybe trying to buy time for the duel, but here comes the Quap. Huge Scream as it's all amplified, but now here comes the duel and the smoke screen on top. Damage out of the Queen of Pain is huge, and they will get the kill. Boogie also trapped in the Sprout as Madara cuts him off from the back. He's going to try to surge himself out, but Thug says no to that. He puts him in the bubble, and that will just pop Boogie straight away. The wall, don't touch it, Madara. There you go. That's first duel win there for Skylark, and that is Penta. Feeling the wrath of Ricky Maru. That's a level 1 smokescreen that absolutely demolished them. They could not fight because the smokescreen covered up like the entire fighting area. And when we could see how much damage Quap was able to do, that was a perfectly executed Blink Scream combo with the Veil, and it chunked them down really hard. But if you're not able to cast your spells because of smokescreen, then as a Quap, you are pretty screwed now, aren't you? And Mousesport's going to take a very big step forward in their game. Spartan has also stolen a pretty nice spell to have, Paralyzing Cask. In a vacuum, it's not really like the most powerful ability. That would be like a wall or a vacuum or a sonic wave. But the advantage of having a stolen... Oh, jump in for a duel. I'm not really sure about that. Thug actually has a Force Staff. Is he going to be able to come in and help to get the kill? But it's not going to be a duel win. It's still a kill. No big deal. Spartan now going to look for more. He does get the lift up onto Quap and throws her down to nothing. But the advantage of a Paralyzing Cask on Rubik is that the enemies will just struggle to play around it. They don't have their summons, except for the wall, to really kind of absorb those bounces. So Spartan just has a lot of utility to his team right now. And you can just throw it and get another spell, any other spell really quickly, so it's not a big deal. Mousesports are really starting to snowball pretty heavily here. You see Nature's Prophet picked up the early Blightstone just for a little bit of extra pushing power. It's a good idea if you're going to be pushing, just to have a hero with Blightstone. When you're a Nature's Prophet, get these extra dudes with you. It gets even stronger, of course.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And they have to make sure that they don't fall too far behind in the golden experience gain. Like, typically when you ball up for towers, you are as 4 or as 5. So you will get a lot less experience. You don't have heroes farming elsewhere around the map. It is sometimes a little bit awkward. So they just have to measure how long they do that for. But getting map control definitely gives them quite a few options. Obviously, Nature's Prophet is the textbook hero to abuse map control. Just split push, do that whole rat game thing. Legion Commander and Ricky are also pretty darn good. Just these assassin type heroes that can wander around almost with impunity, knowing that if they run into someone, then they will be able to get a pretty fast kill, and then once again start up the push train. Penta do have so much team fight though that tier 2s, if they actually want to, they can fight over them. Still, mouz, their damage is limited. It is getting much higher, of course. Blade Mail's coming up. The OD has that 4 staff and is going to get even more damage coming out from his level 4 orb now. Plus level 2 Eclipse soon. Although he's probably going to go 14 talent, 15 talent, I would say. Maybe Eclipse not soon. I mean, the Eclipse is just really well matched up against a lot of these Penta heroes, so level 1 will still do a lot of damage. It looks like mouz, they've taken a good step in their map control, and it's kind of up to Penta to break this. In that regard, they need Blink Daggers or Observer Wards. I mean, Spirit Breaker to track down a Nature's Prophet. That's how you kind of have to deal with this. Or get something like this, a Yule Scepter on Quap. It is going to be really good up against the Ricky's Smokescreen. If you're caught in, you have an answer to it. But also, it's just really, really good at interrupting duels and finding Nature's Prophets. That's the big game. Just if you place an Observer Ward, like up on this cliff side or whatever, blink Yules to cancel a TP out. That's how you get your kills. That's how you break out of this type of game state if you're Penta. Or just wait until mouz gets stupid and try to like Roche or push a tier 2. And then just jump in and vacuum wall them, Sonic Wave, and then just massacre them. But I'm pretty sure mouz aren't going to do that unless they get, you know, a really big lead off of a pick-off or, you know, a sneak tower or a snuck Roshan, something like that. They're okay playing this farm game as well, because again, they have a lot of scaling. Kind of a quiet game, though. Yule Scepter coming up. Let's actually... You know, they removed that, like, quick item look at button. I'm not really sure if this is the best way to look at items, but I know that this is one of the ways to look at all the items. Skitter, what's his farm looking at? Like, yeah, it's okay. It's definitely adequate. Darkseer, what is this, Guardian Greaves? So, going straight Guardian Greaves. Get rid of that eventual soul burn coming out from the Orchid of the Nature's Prophet. Pretty nice to have. Although Blink Dagger also is, again, pretty high priority. Uh-oh, DNZ does not want to be here. And luckily for him, he won't be here for much longer because he's dead. You wandered into the wrong neighborhood, bro. And that's the threat of this map control. That is literally exactly what I was talking about. You just wander around with impunity, find these pickoffs, and then as soon as you do, the push train is back online. mouz got here really quick also, so there's that. Penta, without their Spirit Breaker to kind of charge in and isolate either the Nature's Prophet or the OD, it will be a real struggle to fight, although they do have the Spirit Breaker back. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit too late. MNT is acting as an Observer Ward, and they will look for Blazemon if they can. Ooh, Spartan almost got the grab. Is tower deniable? Yes, it is. Can they deny it, though? Ping it, yes. Spartan's like, kill the catapult. It does so much damage now. There you go. Tower denied, kill secured, tower secured for mouz. And Penta, that is, of course, not how they get out of this game state. Oh, that is definitely not how they get out of this game state either. Fresh Blade Mail on Skylark, jumps in for a free one on Boogie. And they also see DNZ. The damage from Thug is pretty huge. Eclipse will kill, I think. Jump in, Skylark. Oh, they're just going to orb him down. Don't need the Eclipse. They also see the Witch Doctor. Was silence. Okay, there's the Eclipse. They Eclipse for a Witch Doctor? Whatever, man. I mean, you get the kills. It's all good. And once again, you get a couple of kills. The push is back online. Blazemon can throw in a couple of spells here. They're all amped up by the Veil. But at this point, just doesn't do enough. Spartan, he has one stun. And that's it. He stole Whirling Axe. There's so much damage, though, from Thug. He says 44. He stole all that intelligence from the fight that happened over here. And Quap just definitely did not expect that amount of DPS to come out from the OD. Just like that, tower is down a tier 3 top lane where a tier 2 mid lane still stands. You don't get to see that very often, but of course this is going to open up the shrines for mouz to take, further solidifying their map control and opening the door for Roshan. Yeah, I was going to say open the door for Roshan, whether or not they were going to actually go for Roshan. I mean, that was just lucky timing on my part, guys. They'll slide into Rosh. Have the damage now in Nature's Prophet, which is pretty high now that his Orchid is complete. Scan is out from the Dire. Unfortunately, it's going to time out right before the Radiant walk in there. So Penta are still hidden, but mouz not going to risk it. This is how mouz throw this game. They have a really nice foothold in it. 10k lead plus in gold. A little bit less in experience, but still substantial. Dust is up. MNT is going to get the smoke out on everybody. They're stuck in the Rosh pit. There's no damage going in, though, so it's MNT's ultimate and smoke screen for right now being down. DNZ's still stuck in there. They do see him, and he gets bashed by Roshan. Oh, no, DNZ is now stuck, and he's going to go down. Oh, disaster. In the meantime, they do grab the Troll Warlord with the duel. They kill him off. Madara has a double kill, looking for more with Thug, and they cleave through absolutely everybody. Oh, they're going to jump over the cliffside, look for that Quap. Can't quite find him, although Thug is not going to let her get away. I don't think Thug really has a choice in the matter, though. They will get Roshan, and that has got to be the most unlucky bash timer I have ever seen. Now, even if he does get out of there with a charge and he doesn't get bashed, still we saw how convincingly mouz were able to take that fight. So I'm not sure if that goes much better for Penta. But losing your Spirit Breaker because of RNG BS, that's gotta hurt, man. Like, you gotta feel that one straight in your soul. It's like, okay, I'm trapped here, waiting for charge, and then I get bashed. Feels amazing, man. Gun. Roshan down. That's a double life for the OD, who was already pumping out some insane DPS just by virtue of being level 17. Of course, he has this attack speed talent as well. His attack speed is pretty substantial. And, like, yeah, Thug is the hero that Penta are most likely the most scared of. That'll let the Nature's Prophet kind of slide in there with his, like, kind of hidden DPS as well. Because with an Orchid, he's actually doing a lot. Plus, he almost has his level 15 as well, so I'm assuming that's 20 int. Haven't seen a ton of Nature's Prophet games. Okay, they found Blazemon. I was like, he's just going to teleport out and split push, right? No, he's teleporting out to get kills. Obviously. What is it? Ooh, 4 Treants summoned. Okay. Not going for the 20 DPS. Or 20 damage per hit, I guess. Oh, Boogie. Cask bouncing through. That's stolen once again by Spartan. The Ricky ult is down, and that will bring down the Spirit Breaker. It will eventually, at least. Silence onto the Witch Doctor. Takes a huge hit from Thug. Great vacuum wall from Boogie, but there's no follow-up to that. And these illusions aren't really that strong. Thug's going in, all the way in. Force out a buyback on the Darkseer. They slide up towards top as Skylark and Thug now going to slowly beat down this structure. Madara, he's the hero that needs to be here for the right-click damage, but with only a Troll and a Darkseer, I don't know what the hell they're supposed to do to hold this. And it's too late anyway. It's done. They lift up the Troll. They soul burn him. He's going to pop to the Orchid if nothing else. No, the Orb will do him in. Duel coming in now onto the Darkseer. They will take him down. Blazemon gets a really big combo. Gets a stolen Sonic Wave thrown right back at him. And it looks like they will rally and collect a couple of heads as they jump forward looking for a little bit more Blazemon. Perhaps MNT now should get Skylark as well. Skylark, though, is going to man up because that's how he rolls. Blade Mail. Oh, they have Madara coming in as reinforcements. Soulburn is going to get used off, and Thug's killing people in the back. What the hell, Thug? Stop it. I'm watching this fight over here. The Quap did escape, and Thug did die. But it looks like I chose the wrong fight to watch. Skitter's going to grab a 10-kill streak away from the OD, but we could see, even though it looked pretty good for Penta as they were able to get a couple of those kills, finally a Sonic Wave lands. The damage has already been done. The gold exchange is a wash. Plus they expend buybacks. Plus they lost the racks. They got an Aegis, I guess, but small potatoes. Skylark. Oh, that is so unlucky. Still gets it, though. Still perfectly set up. Wrath of Nature? Bro, where's your ultimate? He did use it. It just didn't hit him? Okay, maybe there are a lot of creeps out and it was bouncing to creeps, I guess. I'm pretty sure if it just bounced in, then it would have gotten the kill. The Pain Train stops for no one. His top lane will naturally push, and again, Nature's Prophet does love having super creeps on his team. Makes his job so much easier. Actually, doesn't make it easier, necessarily. It makes it more effective, and there's definitely a difference there. Like, he still has the same difficulty of job, just what he's able to do is a lot more effective. Yeah. He also has a sheep stick, so there's that. And there's also now additional survivability on the OD. Soon to be a completed Shiva's Guard. It's actually already in his inventory. The recipe. Calling it right now, guys. Shiva's Guard recipe is going to be replaced by something in the near future. Probably like a chainmail or something. Just saying. They're starting to do away with recipes in case you guys haven't noticed. So now there's a Shiva's on the OD. And now I don't think he's killable. I mean, they do have, I guess, a lot of control. Enough control to actually kill him. And Skitter did get that kill streak, but we checked on him like 5-10 minutes ago, and he hasn't picked up an item since. Guardian Greaves, a Oblivion Staff. These are the only items that Penta have picked up in the past couple of minutes.
The seeds of fortune.
And Oblivion Staff kind of sucks, in case you guys haven't noticed. It's like a pretty trash item. Oh, Radiant Scan. Gonna be debated by a Ricky illusion. So they're kind of scared. They're gonna ball up because this illusion triggered the scan. That sucks. But they'll know that Ricky's not there, so it's fine. In the meantime, like in the mouz camp, BKB on the Legion Commander, that fresh Shivas, the sheep stick. Not only do they have new items, they have fat items. Point booster on Rubik, just a little bit of extra juice there for him to fight. Man, and Penta are stuck in their base. At this point, the only chance they have is the dream combo. You know, that vacuum wall onto 5, which is going to be hard because he has no Blink Dagger, but, you know, that's what they have to do. Vacuum wall into 5 with the Veil Quap combo. Also, they can't afford to lose someone beforehand. That will be bad. Sheep Stick onto the Troll Warlord. They Sprout Blazemon and silence him. He already used the Dual Scepter. But there's not much damage being done to the Troll Warlord. Now the charge coming in. DNZ not lifted up by Spartan. Vacuum is going to drop onto 2. Skylar and Spartan both in a lot of trouble. The Sonic Wave cuts through Spartan. Will get 1 kill. Thug kind of alone in the area. They will lose the Witch Doctor, but at the cost of maybe Thug. Going to imprison himself, try to buy a little bit more time. Does have a blink out, does have a Shivas. Madara is going to just try to get some space, but DNZ is going to close the distance really quickly. The Iron Shell do a lot of damage, but now Thug, he's free to right click, and he is firing off on all cylinders. Grabs a double, Sprout now into Blazemon, and he is going to not get the kill onto Madara because of the friendly imprison from Thug. That looked as good as it was going to get for Penta. Being able to absorb that initiation from mouz without losing anything. Being able to get on top of a couple of heroes and really just isolate the squishies. Still not quite good enough. As now they've lost a handful of extra heroes. They do not have the wall. They do not have the vacuum. 2 shots? 1 shot? Thug Crybaby. Oh my god, Thug. You savage. You, dare I say, Thug. Oh my god. You know, there's nothing that quite says get the hell out of my game than like one-shotting someone. That kind of says it all, doesn't it? Mouse Sports are going to claim their first victory. And just to give you a sense of the hierarchy, guys, Penta just thrashed Alliance and then just got thrashed by mouz. So, you know, read into that what you will. This game did not go the way I expected. I didn't expect Mouse Sports to be able to pull ahead and farm by this margin. I mean, the fact that their cores like never died. Also, you know, 0, 4, and 20, just saying. Their cores never died. They were able to get the farm. And Penta, they were just constantly getting picked off. Jabs did not have a good time. That's for damn sure. 66 dual damage. That is substantial considering how fast this game actually was. mouz are going to chalk up their first win. They have previously lost to P-Dogs and to Danish Bears. And speaking of dogs, we got Singularity going up against P-Dogs next. It should be hosted now. So, yeah, we're going to be taking a short break and then jumping over to that one. Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Valve coverage of the International 7 European Qualifiers. I'm Mike Loris. It's been a pleasure casting this game for you guys. And I'll be right back for the next game. Don't go anywhere.